actually inherent if they dive deep enough into themselves. Regardless, though, just Bardock throwing hands with base Gas normally actually convinces Gas that Bardock was a powerful fighter and that they were perhaps wrong that only low-class fighters were actually sent to the planet. This may be indicative that Bardock, at the very least, had a hidden battle prowess about him that he doesn't really care to brag about or doesn't tell anyone, or his true powers come out in life and death combat one-on-one situations that aren't normally calculable or seeable through a generic scouter reading. What's weird, though, is that Gas actually makes this judgment on Bardock's status very calmly, as an entire combo Bardock throws at him doesn't even damage or scratch him whatsoever, showing that Gas not only believes he is above low-class Saiyans by a high degree, but above possibly even mid-class, to the point that them not even being able to scratch him doesn't shock him whatsoever. Meaning fighters such as Raditz and potentially Nappa wouldn't even damage Gas at all. In Chapter 83, Bardock vs. Gas 2, Bardock throws more combos and Gas just powers up slightly, as Gas has the ability to suppress his battle power, a fact that only interests and actually excites Bardock further. It's also stated that Gas is far from full power, something that should probably be noted as probably less than even half, more akin to Frieza toying around with Goku when they first started fighting, as usually fighters at half power are more serious or threatened. Also, far from full power might be a bit of an exaggeration if you're using over half of it, or 70% or something like that. This is important as Gas was already not trying before he powered up to a state far from full power, which he thought a mid-class Saiyan couldn't even scratch. During this chapter, Bardock also shows a classic Dragon Ball resistance to forced BFR, or battlefield removal, by the 2-ball Shenron Tarambo, and Tarambo is probably weaker than Earth's Shenron, as Monaito is known to have a power level even less than King Piccolo, at least in present times, with Bardock measuring Monaito's power level to be 213 when serious. This is even less than post-time-skip Saiyan Saga Kami, who many don't know actually got weaker, was at 220 in V-Jump, which made him less than 22nd and 23rd Budokai Kami, who could easily flick away while not even trying a Goku stronger than King Piccolo, who had a power level of 260. This means that characters weaker than a power level of 213, and probably even weaker than Bardock in general, can't teleport him places against his will. This is a very underestimated and under-talked about hacks that Saiyans possess that I actually quite appreciate. This would basically apply to characters, say, such as Naruto Sasuke, Uchiha as an example, where he possesses an ability where he can use his eye to teleport or switch objects with himself and another person or whatever. If you believe Sasuke is weaker than Bardock, then he could never teleport Bardock around with these Renegon eye abilities or something like that. Of course, this is only if you believe that Sasuke is weaker than Bardock, but this video is not about that. That is just an example, hypothetically. Eventually, after much more fighting and Gas getting more serious, Bardock says a Saiyan would rather die than run from an enemy, and this is exactly what Super Saiyan Goku does against Frieza on Namek, where Goku would rather defeat Frieza and then explode than just run away and fight him another day. This is an ingrained instinct that Bardock actually passed down to him, that Bardock is trying to teach the older Goku to keep in his heart, which eventually allows him to awaken his own instincts. As even in Original Z, Goku only used that level of Saiyan instinct one time, very obviously. Even though Gas is way stronger than Bardock, at least in Chapter 83, he wishes to fight him until he wins. Even Bardock getting slammed around in the scene is just like Goku getting slammed around by Grandpa Gohan, where Gas is basically using Bardock's tail to fling him around, just as Grandpa Gohan used to fling Goku around by his tail. However, unlike Goku, Bardock has trained his tail, and has honed his instinct, and is a true Saiyan warrior, unlike Goku at the time. It's at this point that Gas goes berserk, super power mode, and Bardock drops one of the coldest lines in the whole series. What sort of idiot would think about anything less than victory and a life and death battle? After this happens, it is described by Gas that Bardock is in a state other than Great Ape. Something or some type of change has greatly influenced his battle power, akin to a boost or a type of transformation, which is why I called this video Instinct Bardock, as it doesn't have an official name, but it's even described by another wise combatant in the series that even has the ability to suppress his battle power, which, if you remember, Captain Ginyu being able to do that was noted as an impressive scenario, and even notes that Goku being able to do it is advanced. So Gas, with an advanced perception on the series and combatant and able to transform himself, calls it a transformation or a state other than Great Ape, or implies it to be such. So that's why I called it Instinct Bardock. You guys can call it whatever you want, Saiyan Instinct or whatever fan-made term. I think Instinct is fun. Gas also then drops this line, which is he says that he represents a limit